Good evening. Hope y'all are doing well. Another beautiful day, and another day to hopefully go outside and enjoy this beautiful weather. I hope everybody doesn't feel like they're so cooped up in their home. I hope there's things you can do outside your home. I do want to tell you right now that as we go through this devotional tonight, if you hear any screams or anything, don't worry, nothing bad is happening here at the Taylor household. But we did set up a trampoline for the girls this past weekend. I say we, I actually didn't have much of a part of it. My dad and Casey actually set it up, so thank you to them. But they're out there playing on the trampoline right now. So if you hear any screams, that's where they're coming from. So I promise you, we're not beating our kids right now. So thank you for those of you that are already watching. Look forward to this devotional tonight, this time where I can deliver God's word to you. For those of you that are watching, if you would please remember that our spring out has been officially canceled. But April the 25th, Saturday, from 11 to 3 that day, we are going to be still passing out the Boston Butts that were sold, and we're going to be doing the gun raffle. So make sure that you let your people know that you sold tickets to, that we're going to be doing that on April the 25th, whether it be Boston Butt tickets or gun raffle tickets. If you still have tickets you haven't sold and you don't think you're going to, please get them to me as soon as possible. Or if you've got money out there that you've collected, please get those to me. And again, as we've announced the last few services, if you still wish to pay your tithes, you can send those by mail through with a check to Mount Pleasant at 1244 Comer Road, Crawford, Georgia 30630, or you can always do PayPal or Venmo. And if you go back and watch the last few like the devotionals or the services that we've had, Becky Soto has put up the instructions for those on how to use PayPal or Venmo. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or Becky Soto. So again, thank you for the ones that are watching already. Hope you'll go on your Facebook and share this devotional on your page so many more people can see it, and more of our church people can see it. And we'd love for you to engage in the comments. We'd love for you to say hey, and see how you're doing. Make sure that your families are doing well. And if you've got any prayer requests, please put those on the comments, because during this time, I know that we're not all getting together, but I don't want to lose a lack of communication when it comes to prayer requests, because we still want to be praying for you and your needs and your family's needs and your friends' needs. So please remember that. My main passage tonight is going to come from Matthew, and I'm going to be in chapter 21 for those of you that are following along with me with your word. Matthew 21:18, and as I do most of the times, I'm going to be reading from the New King James Version. So it says, "Now in the morning, as he returned to the city, he was hungry, and seeing a fig tree by the road, he came to it and found nothing on it but leaves, and said to it, 'Let no fruit grow on you ever again.' Immediately the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, 'How did the fig tree wither away so soon?' So Jesus answered and said to them, 'Assuredly, I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what was done to the fig tree, but also if you say to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, it will be done. And whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive.'" So Jesus is passing by. Jesus is hungry, as I'm sure a lot of us are a lot of times. And he saw this fig tree, and the fig tree only had it only had leaves on it. It didn't have any fruit. So it wasn't producing the fruit that it was supposed to be. And immediately when I read that, this isn't actually what I'm talking about tonight, but I began to think of how sad it would be for Jesus to be passing me by and see no fruit being bared from me, me essentially not serving my purpose. So I hope that each and every one of you that are watching out there tonight, that are listening, I hope you're serving your purpose for God. If you haven't found your calling yet, begin to pray, begin to seek after it. I know that God will give it to you. But then Jesus said to this fig tree, he said, "Let no fruit grow on you ever again." And this fig tree withered. And the disciples, they were just astonished by it. They were amazed. I mean, they had seen him do all these things, and they see him do this, and they see the little bit of life that this tree had be withered away just so quickly, and they were just astonished by it. And Jesus, this is what I want to focus on tonight. He said, "Assuredly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what was done to the fig tree, but also, if you say to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, it will be done." And what I want to focus on tonight is that portion right there. It says, if you have faith and do not doubt. When feelings of doubt and fear and confusion, discouragement or despair, whatever it is, when they begin to build up inside of you, they will begin to rob you of your peace. They'll begin to rob you of your joy. And doubtfulness is a part of our human nature. It's a part of our being to doubt. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've never doubted before. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've never doubted God before. I've questioned God. I've questioned him before and said, "God, why is this happening?" And I think a lot of people are doing that right now, that they're questioning God and they're saying, "God, why are you allowing this virus to happen? Why are you having it to where we have to be quarantined in our house?" But just know that God is doing a work regardless of if we can see it or not. We just got to have faith in him. It says, if you have faith and do not doubt. And so if we've got all that built up inside of us, if we got the fear and the doubt and the discouragement built up inside of us, what that will do is that will begin to wither away at our peacefulness, our joy. And that's what Jesus doesn't want us to live in fear and doubt. He wants us to have a peaceful spirit about us. He wants to have joy. And you begin to think about where he said that, he didn't find any fruit growing on the vine. Well, guess what? Fear and doubt were not fruit to the Spirit. But peace and joy definitely are fruit to the Spirit. And that's what he wants you walking in. He wants you walking in those fruits of the Spirit. One thing that I've been telling myself lately, just to get a little personal here, is how can I have so much trust in all these man-made things and not have trust in God? I saw a post on Facebook a while back that I really liked, and it was when we're talking about the fact that there was a time when they first started this quarantine to where we still had the possibility to have church. I know those regulations and rules have gotten a little higher now, and we actually can't due to the laws that have been passed down. But I know a lot of preachers were attacked on either one end or the other. They were saying, you should have faith in God, and y'all should still go to church. And there were other preachers that were saying, well, you know what, we need to abide by what's coming out. We've got faith in God. And one thing that I thought was very telling is the fact that somebody posted a post that says, I've got full faith in God, but when I go down the road, I still wear my seatbelt. And I've got full faith in God, but when I go out on a boat, I wear a life jacket. And I think that's very fitting. The fact that that you can have full faith in God, but you've got to have some common sense as well. So just know that when you put on your seatbelt going down the road, it doesn't mean that you're doubting God. It just means that you're being smart and you're being safe, because you know what? God did give the knowledge to somebody to create that seatbelt to protect you. And so I'm not talking about those things, but we can't have so much faith in man. Psalms 118:80, it says, "It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man." And that is so true. And now, one of the reasons why I begin to think about, and begin to dwell on this message of doubt, this devotional of doubt here, of course, we kind of went down a timeline. My Wednesday night devotional for last week was on Maundy Wednesday, which celebrated the washing of the feet, and it celebrated the Last Supper that Jesus had with his disciples. And that was, of course, Wednesday that we had the devotional, but that next day was going to be Maundy Thursday. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, it is on our Facebook page, and something that I think that we definitely should observe. But then we got to Sunday, and we celebrated Easter. We celebrated the death, we celebrated the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so there was a time after that resurrection happened that Mary came up to the tomb, and she encountered the angels, and they said, he's not here. He is risen. And then Jesus actually appeared to Mary, and he revealed himself to her. So there came a time where he also revealed himself to the disciples as well. And Thomas, he was not there. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard this passage, but I'm going to read it again just to remind us. But in John 20, starting with verse 24, it says, "Now Thomas, called the twin, one of the 12, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said to him, 'We have seen the Lord.' So he said to them, 'Unless I see in his hands the prints of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe.'" So he was essentially refusing to believe what they saw. These were men that had walked with Jesus. They had seen him do these miracles. And for Thomas to not believe them, to not take their word, really, it would have kind of burnt me up, honestly, if I was one of the other disciples. I would have been like, why would we lie to you? But he said that he would not believe. And after 8 days, his disciples were again inside, and Jesus with them. Jesus came, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst and said, "Peace to you." Then he said to Thomas, "Reach your finger here and look at my hands, and reach your hand here and put into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing." And Thomas answered and said to him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. But blessed are those who have not seen me and yet have believed." And I think that passage there is just so powerful. Jesus, noticed that when he got there, he said, "Peace to you." I know that normally when I'm leaving somewhere, I say, peace, peace out. But Jesus, when he entered the room, he wanted to make sure there was a peace there. So he said, peace to everybody. And then he called out to Thomas. He said, put your finger here. Put your finger in my hands. Put your finger in my side and see that this is me. And one thing that I want us to think about the fact is that, Jesus wasn't physically there when Thomas said, that I'm not going to believe, until I see him, until I see his nailed hands, and so I see where the spear pierced his side. But Jesus heard him. Jesus knew exactly what he said, and Jesus knew how he felt. So he told him, he said, "Do not be believing, but unbelieving." Essentially, do not doubt. Do not doubt. And I love here that Jesus says at the end of this passage, he said, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe." I know that there's a lot of things out there right now that you've got questions about. There's probably situations and circumstances that you might not know what the ending is going to be. But I'm just telling you tonight, just have faith in God. That's how you beat doubt. You beat doubt by having full faith in that God is working everything for your good, just like it says in Romans, that he is going to work everything out for his good. But what I also want you to know is that Jesus revealed himself to Thomas. And that's one thing that Thomas asked for, that Jesus revealed himself. He wanted to see him in order to believe it. And I want you to know that just as Jesus revealed himself to Thomas, that he'll reveal himself to you through his word. And you might be asking, well, through his word, I haven't heard him speak to me. And I've told you so many times, and probably until I'm blue in the face, that Jesus will speak to you and he will reveal himself through you or to you through his word. In Romans 10:17, it says, "So then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God." So if you want Jesus to speak to you, if you're looking for Jesus to reveal himself to you in your situation, in your time of doubt, in your time of fear or discouragement or despair, just know that you need to get in the word. You need to begin to read the word. Read these these passages like this where he appeared to Thomas. Read these passages where he healed blinded eyes, that he calmed the storm. I begin to think about Peter when he was walking on that water. It stepped out and he began to walk on the water, and he was walking just fine. But guess what? Doubt came into his mind because he began to look around and he took his eyes off of Jesus. I'm telling you right now, no matter how bad the storm may be around you, Jesus will calm the storm around you, and you can walk right there with him. Just keep your eyes on Jesus. Don't take them off. Keep them on him. In 2 Corinthians 5:7, it says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." And that's exactly what Peter did. Just keep that in mind, that we walk by faith, not by sight. And you know what? There may be a mountain in front of you. There may be something that's ahead of you a week from now. There may be something that you're facing tomorrow that you're starting to have all this doubt about, and you don't know how you're going to deal with it. But just know that God's going to be there with you right through every step if you allow him to be. I begin to think about that, doubt, what it is. Doubt is a portal. It's a door for the devil to begin to come in. It's just one of the many, tools of the devil, and one of the many tools that he's got at his disposal. So I'm telling you right now, if you leave the door open with your doubt, then he's going to be able to begin to come in there, and he's going to come into your mind, and it's going to be like a little playground for him, and he's going to begin to mess with your emotions and mess with your feelings. So just go ahead and shut the door on the devil, and instead of just shut that door, and instead of just being still, why don't you go knock on God's door? Why don't you go seek him during your time of doubt? Why don't you pick up his word and begin to read it? Why don't you begin to hit your knees in prayer and begin to cry out to him? Because he'll be there. He'll be there to help you. And I tell you what, we shouldn't have so much self-confidence built up to where we've got pride, but we can have confidence in the fact that, we are serving a God who has never failed us, not one single time, and he won't fail us. I promise you. So walk by faith, not by sight. Don't have that doubt in your life. And I know that he'll do a work in whatever situation you've got going on. And that's one reason why I said, I want you to put your prayer request in the comments tonight. I've got full faith that even though we're not gathering together and laying hands on people, I have full faith that God will move in those situations. We might not be sending off prayer cloths right now. We might not be able to, put our hand on your forehead and pray with you, but we can still be there through intercessory prayer with each other. So if you've got a prayer request, go ahead and throw it in the comments. And I have full faith that God's going to begin to work in it, because not only do I want you to be praying about it, but we're going to be praying for it, for that situation with you. So that's my message that I had tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I started doing this a few Wednesday nights ago, to where I ended the devotional with a song. And I was told that I couldn't stop that by a certain person. And so I'm going to finish out tonight's devotional with a song, and I hope you enjoy it. Again, if you enjoyed this message tonight, please go share it on your page, and please say hey to us in the comments. I love seeing, especially our Mount Pleasant members, I love seeing you pop up in the comments, and so I know that you're doing good, that I know that you're watching, but also our visitors. If you're not a part of our church, if you're a part of another church and you just wanted to stop by and check out a word from God, let us know you visited, and I think that's great. I think that's great that we're all taking in so much of God's word. So y'all worship with me as I sing tonight. pretty familiar song too. I think it's pretty popular. So. Oh, and I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. I've seen many searching for answers far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Oh, it's love so undeniable. I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable. I can hardly think, and you call me deeper still as you call me deeper still as you call me deeper still into love, love, love. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Amen. We serve an amazing God. And I'm so glad that we don't have to have doubt because He's always going to be right there with us. He's a good, good Father. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Hope you have a great day tomorrow, and we see you on Sunday.